Israel. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you. How are y'all doing? Shalom. First of all, I really wanted to thank Lori, that's you, and the huge PJTN team for all your tireless efforts to stand up for Israel. I wanted to thank the good senator for all of the work you've put in making sure our country does what's right by Israel and the world. And I wanted to thank all of you for attending today. I see a bunch of friends gathered here today. Thank you so much for coming. I decided, instead of sharing my passionate and proud support for the people of Israel and the government of Israel and the land of Israel, I thought that for just a moment today we could return to the basics. But since not everyone believes in the Bible the way we do, I thought I'd share part of a more contemporary document with some current ideas, and these I find to be some of the most inspiring ideas today about Israel. These words were not written in Jerusalem, but rather in Tel Aviv, some 64 years ago. And these are some of the words of Israel's Declaration of Independence. And we see in them a desire to live lives of peace, integrity, and respect among all the citizens of the world. And so, if you ever encounter folks who think a state is in order for our Palestinian cousins, this would be an important document for them to read and to know about. That there already is a country called Israel, recognized by the world, not that that really matters, and that they have invited all citizens of the land to live peacefully, not only around Israel, but in Israel itself. And if our Palestinian cousins ever get serious about having a land of their own, maybe it would be a good idea for them to read this document first. Israel's Declaration of Independence, Friday the 14th of May 1948. Eretz Yisrael was the birthplace of the Jewish people. Here their spiritual, religious, and national identity was formed. Here they achieved independence and created a culture of national and universal significance. Here they wrote and gave the Bible to the world. Exiled from their land, the Jewish people remained faithful to it in all countries of their dispersion, never ceasing to pray and hope for their return and for the restoration of their national freedom. Impelled by their historical association, Jews strove in every successive generation to reestablish themselves in their ancient homeland. In recent decades, they returned in masses. Pioneers and defenders, they made deserts bloom. They revived the Hebrew language, built villages and towns, and created a thriving community, controlling its economy and culture, loving peace, but knowing how to defend herself. They brought the blessings of progress to all the inhabitants of the country. On November 29, 1947, the United Nations adopted a resolution calling for the establishment of an independent Jewish state in Eretz Yisrael, and called upon the inhabitants of the country to take such steps as may be necessary on their part to put their plan into effect. This recognition by the UN of the right of the Jewish people to establish their independent state is irrevocable. This right is the natural right of the Jewish people to be masters of their own fate, like all other nations, in their own sovereign state. And so here they write, accordingly, we members of the People's Council, representative of the Jewish communities of Eretz Yisrael and of the Zionist movement, by virtue of our natural and historic rights and on the strength of the resolution of the UN General Assembly, hereby declare the establishment of Jewish state in Eretz Yisrael to be known as the State of Israel. The State of Israel will open to the immigration of Jews from all countries of their dispersion, will promote the development of the country for the benefit of all its inhabitants, will be based on the precepts of liberty, justice, and peace as envisaged by the prophets of Israel, will uphold the full social and political equality of all its citizens without distinction of race, creed, or sex, will guarantee full freedom of conscience, worship, education, culture, will safeguard the sanctity and inviolability of the shrines and holy places of all religions, and will dedicate itself to the principles of the Charter of the United Nations. We appeal, they write, in the very midst of the onslaught launched against us now for months, to the Arab inhabitants of the State of Israel to return to the ways of peace and play their part in building the state on the basis of full and equal citizenship and due representation in all its bodies and institutions, provisional or permanent. We extend our hand of peace and unity to all the neighboring states and their peoples and invite them to establish bonds of cooperation and mutual help with the sovereign Jewish people settled in its own land. The State of Israel is prepared to do its share in a common effort for the advancement of the entire Middle East. We appeal to the Jewish people throughout the diaspora to rally around the Jews of Israel in the task of immigration and development, and to stand up like we're doing today by them in the great struggle for the fulfillment of the age-old dream, the redemption of Israel. And here's how it closes. Placing our trust in the Rock of Israel, we affixed our signatures to this proclamation on the soil of the homeland in the city of Tel Aviv on this Sabbath Eve, the 5th day of Iyar, 5708. And you know, my friends, it's been 65 years, and the impact of these words seems as profound as they were the day they were written. And so today I pray that more souls awaken to the reality of the world and the reality of the Middle East and the reality of Israel. May the Palestinian leaders learn the meaning and value of liberty, justice, and peace. And may all of us in the United States and around the world bless Israel and support Israel so that she can truly serve as a light among the nations. Again, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for being here today. May God bless us all, and may God bless the State of Israel. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Saul. Now we're going